Good morning, watch nerds. Now, Christopher Ward have always been one of my favourite brands, as I believe they offer Swiss luxury quality at reasonable prices, albeit their prices have been sneaking up over the last few years. My love affair started with this brand about 6 years ago when I bought a C60 with a 43mm case. Since then my tastes have changed, and I've bought and sold a fair few of their watches. In fact, I've just sold my C63 GMT to a friend to help purchase this one. That was a wonderful watch, but I inadvertently purchased another green GMT, so I thought it was time to find a new home for it. Now, this watch is called the 12 because of the 12 sides of the bezel. The correct term would have been a dodecacon, but I suppose a Christopher Ward dodecacon would have been a bit of a mouthful. As you probably know, Christopher Ward are UK based, although the watches are built in Switzerland, and they offer a 60-day return and a 60-month warranty. This is amongst the best in the industry, if not the best. And this is my unpaid and unsponsored review of the Christopher Ward 12. This is the Christopher Ward packaging. Although of late they have reduced the length of the box, it feels very premium and is apparently 100% recyclable. Inside is the instructions, a cleaning cloth and the aforementioned 60/60 warranty. And this is my watch of the day, and by coincidence it's another Christopher Ward. It's the C65 Vintage. And that's Amy enjoying the sunshine. So let's have a look at the dimensions. Well, the case is 40mm, although they also make a 36mm version now. The lug width is irrelevant because this has got an integrated bracelet. Now, the lug to lug is a nice compact 44.5mm, and the depth is just 10mm, which includes a flat sapphire crystal with AR coating. Now, once adjusted to fit my 17cm wrist, it comes in at 136 grams. Now, whilst this watch has been compared with the Tissot PRX, which is considered to wear quite large, this wears truer to size, possibly even a little bit smaller. I'll say here and now, this is one of the most comfortable watches on a bracelet I've ever worn. Now, here's a picture of it on my slightly less than average wrist. At the heart of the watch is the Sellita SW200-1. I'm not sure which grade Christopher Ward use, but I would guess it's the basic one, which is a shame at this price, and I'll get to the price later. It's a Swiss 4 Hz movement, and it ticks away at 28,800 beats per hour. It hacks and it hand winds, and it's got a power reserve of 38 hours. Now, I've lost count of how many watches I've owned with this movement, but I can tell you it's robust, reliable, and if regulated correctly, very accurate. Now, in real life this is running at about plus 16 seconds a day, but let's see what it looks like on a time grapher. Now, this is crown down, which is actually the slowest position. It's got a 0 beat error, very good amplitude, and it says it's running at plus 18 seconds, which is a tad fast. At this stage I should mention this watch comes in a titanium version, but that costs a fair bit more, but it does have a Sellita SW300-1 movement inside it, and it's COSC certified. As it happens, I've never been a great fan of TI, but I know there are those that love it. Anyway, I'll leave a link to the Christopher Ward site so you can have a look for yourselves. The 6mm crown is signed, beautifully knurled, screws down to aid the watch's claimed 100 metres of water resistance, and like all Christopher Ward watches, the engagement is buttery smooth. Simply unscrew to hand wind it, pull it out once more to adjust the date, then a second time for hand adjustment. Strangely enough, I'm not normally a fan of integrated bracelets or butterfly clasps, and this has got both. I tend not to like integrated bracelets because it takes away strap change options, although Christopher Ward can supply a rubber strap for this. And I don't like butterfly clasps because it's hard to get a good fit. Fortunately, you get some smaller links with this bracelet, which can be removed and put in using well-engineered screw pins, so sizing isn't actually an issue. As you would expect, the bracelet is beautifully made, It's predominantly brushed, although there is polished chamfers on the sides and the facets of each link. This creates a fantastic shimmer. Now it tapers down right to 18mm, making it very comfortable, and the lugs drop straight down so it fits smaller wrists as well. Now it's a basic butterfly clasp, but it's milled and it's secure. Now I forgot to mention that it does actually have quick release spring bars, but not on the bracelet itself, on the watch. But I doubt you're going to be using them much. All in all though, this really is a lovely bracelet. So let's have a look at the case. Now as mentioned, the fixed bezel has got 12 sides, and in this instance the top of the bezel is brushed, whilst the sides are highly polished. We then have a brushed upper case, then a highly polished chamfer, which leads onto a horizontally brushed side. Now there are crown guards, which appear screwed on separately, which after watching some other reviews, they aren't always appreciated, but I actually like them. There is a sapphire case back, which screws down using what looks like Allen key screws, and then some basic information is engraved around the sides. Needless to say, this is the grey version, although there are a few other colours to choose from. Christopher Ward described the dial pattern as pyramid, and I think I can see why. The important thing is it looks absolutely fantastic. Now under the 12 we've got the Christopher Ward logo, but without any script, and in my opinion this is their best logo to date. Above the 6 o'clock it simply reads automatic, and below that is a colour matched date window. Now the wedged indices and dag hands are filled with BGW9 lume, and the lume on this watch is excellent. In fact, it's as good as any lume on any sports watch I've ever seen, and it lasts most of the night. Now let's have a look at that lume. Christopher Ward watches may not be as cheap as they once were, but compare them with brands such as Longines, Maurice Lacroix or even IWC, and what they're offering still represents decent value for money. So how much is one of these? Well, they start from a stainless steel version on a rubber strap for £850 and go up to £1,595 for a titanium one on a bracelet. The one you see here is £1,050, but I was fortunate enough to pick up this unworn one for just £785, and that was from an eBay seller. So thanks to Watches, Whiskey and Jazz for doing me such a good price. So what do I think of the Christopher Ward 12? Other than the fact I think it looks like the love child of an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak and an Omega Aquaterra. Now despite the fact it's got half links and a good butterfly clasp, I still would have preferred a conventional clasp with non-fly adjustment. Now I should mention the size. I believe if they'd made this in a 38mm, they wouldn't have had to make the 36mm as well. Of course, 38mm is my sweet spot, so perhaps I'm a little bit biased. Finally, the regulation isn't great, and that really shouldn't be the case on a watch of this price. That said, the movement is still running in, so it may well slow down in time to come. Now I contacted Christopher Ward and they informed me the tolerances are plus minus 20 seconds a day, so I don't really have any redress. Like all Christopher Ward watches, you know you've got a great bit of kit in your hands from the moment you handle the box to the moment you put it on your wrist. I love the dial, the unusual bezel, the excellent but poorly regulated Swiss movement, the lume, and despite the fact I'm not a fan of the clasp, the bracelet is absolutely brilliant. Would I recommend it? I most certainly would. So that brings me to the end of this review. If you've enjoyed it, click on the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave your comments below and enjoy the rest of your day.